Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Speaking Business Central. My name is Ken Sebahar, and we're here today to talk about the release of Business Central version 28.0, aka 2026 Release Wave 1. So this release was officially released in late April. There was a little bit of a delay, so a lot of environments were originally scheduled to get this maybe in early to mid-May. And at this point, maybe a lot of people haven't even yet deployed that. I waited about an extra month so that if you're going through and you're watching this video here today, you can immediately go in and start looking at some of these new features and functionality that are out there with 28.0. So let's go ahead and get started diving into it. So the first thing that I want to look at here is what you'll see is that under Microsoft Learn, if you just do a search for Business Central version 28.0, you'll see that there is an update page for this major release, just like all of the minor releases, if you've watched previous videos or looked at some of this online content here. So what you'll see here is that update 28.0 provides the list of all of the new and updated features that are included or were deployed with this release. And if we just real quick here, scroll down and look at the list here, you'll see a whole bunch of new features. And these are by different area here. So there's Power Platform, application features, Copilot and agents, country and regional, development, e-commerce, financial management. They've split apart reporting and data analysis separate from supply chain. So there's a whole slew of new features and functionality that are included in this release. And each of these is a link where you can click on this link here. If you want to look at approved requisition worksheets and item journals, for example, you click there and you can see a bunch of feature details about that. I do want to differentiate this between if you do a search for 2026 Release Wave 1, like let's say we go into Bing, for example, and we do a search, and we will find that there's an overview of Dynamics 365 2026 Release Wave 1 page. On this page, so this page encompasses all of the new planned features that will be included with this release wave. The release wave, again, covers really about 6 months. So it could be anywhere from April through September that these new features are released. So this is more of a comprehensive list. If I scroll down here all the way to the bottom, there is a button here, check out the release plan. And this is what's new and planned for Business Central. So this is going to include a longer list of things. So if we just look, for example, at the Copilot and Agent section, what I'm going to talk about here today and what we're going to look at are some of the new features that are currently available under general availability. That means that they're in the product. If you're running version 28.0, you should see these features in there. There are other features, for example, that don't even have dates yet. For example, there is a whole bunch of new expense report functionality coming out. And some of these, for example, here, capture expenses with the expense agent on your mobile app. This is not even going to be available in a sandbox or public preview until July 2026 with no yet planned general availability date. So we're going to kind of focus on just those things that were actually released here. So if we go back to here, you'll see this is the list here on the 28.0. These are the features that were included. We're a little past the 28.0 date. I have a 28.0 environment here we're looking at, and there are actually a few more features that are on the release wave 1 plan that aren't listed here that are in there. So there is a slight mismatch, but for the most part, everything you see here is general availability. So if you're running 28.0, we should see those things. So let's take a look at, so what are some of the major things? And this is where I want to spend the bulk of the time here today, because this is a major release. There are a lot of features out here. We're going to start with the sexiest, the most exciting areas, AI, Copilot, and agents. So what are some of the new things here? So right at the top, create agentic experiences with enhanced MCP server. So I understand a lot of people hear about AI all the time, but like maybe not very many people are in the weeds to understand what MCP is. Just simply put, MCP is kind of a way, what's called Model Context Protocol. It's kind of a standardized language that allows two applications to speak to one another. It's kind of like, think of it kind of like an API or a bridge that allows, for example, Business Central to work with or talk with other AI tools such as ChatGPT or Claude. So the fact that there's this MCP server now available in Business Central, what that means is that you can create your own agents that utilize Business Central functionality and data within your app. So for example, a use of this would be a multi-step process where, for example, let's say that we want to create an agent that will, one, check for past due purchase order receipts. So something that had an expected receipt date, it's sitting out on an open purchase order, it hasn't arrived yet. We could create an agent that would look for those, find them, send an email to the vendor asking them to confirm what the receipt date is going to be, and then update the expected receipt date on that purchase order line. So, and then reply via email to a buyer that this date has been updated, right? So that's a multi-step workflow that not only uses Business Central, but also uses maybe your email tools or other software to complete a task. Okay. Another easy one is ask Business Central anything. So you could say, hey, what are my sales over the last 12 months? It could figure out, for example, to use like a sales or an item ledger API to produce a sales report for you. Right. So I like the purchase order receipt example. It's a little bit kind of cleaner and understands how it can work with both, Business Central, email, and maybe even other tools. So the nice thing is that this allows you to use other AI tools. So you could use Copilot tools, you could use ChatGPT, you could use Claude Desktop, Cursor, or other AI tools that you may be comfortable working with. So this is kind of a big deal, right? So I felt like we should start with that one. This one's under here. Get item insights with advanced KPIs and summary. This actually includes 3 different things. Let's take a look into Business Central. Let's go to an item record and show what this is. So sometimes it's just easier to take a look at it. So if we pull up this item here, what you see here, I have a summarize with Copilot feature here, where it's analyzing my data right now, and it's going to prepare some insights for me. Right? So this item has 509 units on hand with a reorder point of 50, unit price, profit margin, 14 units on purchase order, and so on. This also includes some additional KPIs and metrics. If I go into the item statistics page, for example, they're adding some new KPIs here: sales growth rate over different periods of time, net sales, gross margin, and return rate. There's also an advanced statistics page where I can say, okay, show me here's what I want to look at. Let's look at it by month, and then let's show matrix. So we're kind of looking at, we can pick and choose what we want to see over different periods of time, analyzing sales, cost of goods sold, profitability, and so on. So there's some nice inventory related improvements there with that. There's a new agent task pane. If I go back in here, you'll notice over here on the very far right side, I have this task pane. I can kind of minimize it here, so it minimizes it here, and I can expand it. If I have agents in use, it'll show me if I have any tasks that I need to be working on there. So those are some of the key Copilot related new features that are coming out. If we keep scrolling down here, there's a ton of stuff here. We don't have time. I don't want to go through all of this here. I want to kind of, from an end user standpoint, focus on what are some of the cool new things that you can use here. If we look under reporting, so under reporting, there's some really nice improvements. Financial reporting enhancements. If we go into here, this is actually a whole series of new features and changes that they've added here. So a couple things. The ability to display logo default. So let's go into Business Central here. Let's go into General Ledger Setup. So in General Ledger Setup, if I scroll down to the under the Reporting tab, there's a whole new set of features here. So there's some default financial reports. So if I say I want to run these reports, I know this tells me which reports are we running. We also have, how do you want to see your negative amounts? Do you want to see those as minus signs or parentheses? Do you want to see a company logo on your financial reports? What is your default report status? So this is a new field where you can say this is an actively used report. This one's a draft. We're still kind of working on it. Or this is retired. We're no longer obsolete. We're no longer using this report, but you just want to keep it out there. And default view by day. So my default view, if I had a choice here, would be by month, right? Because when I'm running financial reports, I always want to look at everything monthly, not necessarily daily. Okay. So that's kind of one of the new features there for reporting. There's also a new tile view. So if I go into financial reporting, you're used to the financial reporting list here with all your different financial reports with row definitions and column definitions. If I go up to my view, my layout options, and I select tiles, it now creates a little view here where you can see the name and code of each report along with the description, the long description that you've given to each report. So it kind of gives you a review of the different reasons why you might run these reports and what they show. So kind of the purpose of those reports. And then the last thing I kind of want to show is the ability to schedule reports. So let me go back. Let me close my AI Copilot task pane there, and then let's go back to the list view, and let's look at detailed balance sheet, for example, here. So if you look under the definitions bar, there's now a schedules button. So under schedules, you can actually create multiple schedules for different scheduling frequencies or different recipients. You see I have one set up here as an example, my executive financial statements. We're going to export all these to Excel, and then we're going to send them email to this list of recipients. So I just have one here. And that's scheduled to run once a month. You can also use date formulas on here. There's logs that show when reports have been scheduled. So that's kind of cool to look at. There's also a general financial report audit log. So this shows you when was each report run, who ran it, was it on the schedule or was it manually run? So there's a lot of nice financial reporting improvements here. I know a lot of people don't like to use these for the external reporting users, but man, if you're a controller, you're the accounting manager, you want to do some GL analysis, you got to be using these financial reports. They're awesome. You can drill down on the transactions and see everything that's on there. So those are some of the new. Sorry for spent a lot of time on there. Accounting is one of my favorite topics. If we just moving along here real quick, under supply chain, there's some new approval processing included under the requisition worksheets and item journals. There are some drop shipment functionality improvements. So if you create a sales order and then you're automatically creating drop ship purchase orders to your vendor to deliver that product to your customer, there's actually multiple different improvements in here. And then probably not to bury the lead, but there is a brand new quality control set of functionality included. So when you're receiving or producing items, you can actually run through a series of QC steps and record QC results to make sure that you're recording that quality of those items and materials as they're coming in. Okay, and then I think I got. Let's see. One more thing. This is kind of seems like a small little thing, but for the people that process month end, one of the things that you have to do at month end is you have to go in and you have to manually update the allowable posting dates, either on a general ledger setup table or the user setup table. And you have to go in each month and you have to update it for each month. What you can now do is use date formulas. So if we go into the general ledger setup table, may not have this enabled here, you can actually utilize date formulas, for example, to set the allow posting from and allow posting to dates. So there's some new functionality on that right here. It's called use date formulas to control allowed posting periods. And as an example here are some of the formulas that you may want to consider using, for example, if you want to do that. So check out the online help. If we go back to the one last thing I kind of want to point out here is if you scroll down on this 28.0 page and you keep scrolling down here, there are a whole bunch of new sessions here. So 40 plus What's New sessions on YouTube published by Microsoft. What's New deck. There's also some other options for resources here. So this is it, 28.0. It's exciting. There's a ton of new features out here. Please use those features. Reach out to me if you need any help implementing any of these new features. Thanks for subscribing. In about a week or so from now, I'll be posting another update for 28.1, which is also available and adds some additional new features that weren't included with 28.0. So thank you very much, and we'll talk soon.